One of the most requested videos here is about animals, and recently I decided finally to ask about them. I was very lucky because machine elves are normally not willing to answer questions that could be used for making these videos, but this time they were okay with it, and they actually gave me a lot of information. I've talked about nature before in the video about talking to the trees, and I also described my visit from the queen of the insect world, so this video will be not only about animals, but also about the place of humans on Earth and how they interact with the biological world. If you watch these videos regularly and you feel that they are important, please support this channel through joining Patreon or Subscribestar, or by making a donation through PayPal, bank transfer, or cryptocurrency. Joining Patreon or Subscribestar is easy and you don't need a PayPal account to donate. All links in the video description and at join.b434.com. Thank you so much for your help with this channel, and also visit meet.b434.com if you would like to meet me in London or Manchester soon. One of the first messages I received about nature was this. This planet is a living organism with trees, water, and animals being its organs. Of course, the psychedelic community knows about this. Anyone who's had a profound psychedelic experience gets automatically connected to the divine natural world. Some of us connect to the Mother Spirit or Gaia. Sometimes it's just a transcendental oneness with every plant and animal around us, but the connection one gains with the organic world is an incredible, life-changing and eye-opening experience. I was shown that animals are all a part of the same energy, and this is clearly visible when you start a psychedelic trip and you realize that pets and other animals are drawn to you or they start watching you. And it's not a change that you observe in animals, but it's a change that happens when we get connected to the metaphysical internet, and it's us who start operating in the same frequency as all the organisms around us, not the other way around. But a very important message I was given is this. Machine elves told me that they are taking care of the animals, and they said that we shouldn't worry about them. They said, we are taking care of that part of the simulation and with all that happens to animals. It is important to mention that everything in this reality has its respective entity, like a guardian, that looks after a particular area of our existence, and animals are not an exception. They said, relax, take care of yourself first. The important question is, why do you care about animals? If it's guilt, then you have to ask yourself more questions. I noticed a long time ago that some people show more interest in the animals than in humans, as if they were not willing to take care of their own species. My personal observation is that it's usually a sign of deeper issues and a troubled relationship with oneself, or an issue with being a human. Not that I'm not guilty of it myself, but maybe it is worth asking yourself that question. Another message was, you need to know that animals are a whole different species, a different world. No one has access to them, no one understands what's inside of them. Each animal is a whole different existence that we know nothing of. And if you remember, in the Gifts Explained video, I described how the bee queen allowed me to gain insight into insect consciousness. This was an incredible metaphysical journey that opened my eyes to a hidden world of other species. And machine elves are right, because after that experience I became interested in the functioning of bees and their colonies, and to say that it is amazing is an understatement. It turns out that bee is a pollen collecting aircraft combined with a honey processing plant in one body. They construct honeycomb walls which are only 1/350th of an inch thick, but they can support 30 times their own weight. A bee colony can have 50,000 bees in it, and they all work together with no supervision and no instructions, but most of all, with no conflicts. They're born with an inherited knowledge about building hives, nursing young bees, locating flowers, navigating fly paths, collecting pollen, guarding the hive, fighting enemies, and many more. Imagine the invisible world they live in and how little we know about it. And the entities told me, as far as animals go, you don't understand yourselves, let alone other animals. You don't know anything about fellow humans, and you're the same species. Although a human is a part of the environment, his thoughts, feelings, and actions are separated from the rest, and he permanently lives in the state of delusion of his consciousness. This delusion is like a prison for us, restricting our ability to function to our small personal world with a few other people nearest to us, completely disregarding the rest of the human world and the animal kingdom. Today we're busy photoshopping ourselves and using apps that help us create idealized images of ourselves. We are uncomfortable with our bodies and our physiology. The following message was very interesting. Another human being is a mystery to you, but somehow you decided that animals have no consciousness. If that's true, then try to answer this question. Why do animals appear in psychedelic visions? They're present in them as if they had closeness to the interdimensional entities. Do you see any humans there? Or do you see bees, spiders, and insects? Explain this. If you think you know so much, that's the proof that you don't know anything. And it is a very important message. Humans do not appear in my interdimensional contact. I talk to alien entities and insects, and I have contact with nature, but hardly ever do I see other humans. It seems animals really have a metaphysical or even a psychedelic connection we know very little of. In our ignorance, we decided that humans are the only ones equipped in consciousness. For some unexplained reason, we think that our false beliefs give us the right to treat the rest of the animal world as inferior, not paying attention to the dysfunctional environment we created with our alleged superiority. Machine Elves also said, think about the human idea of hierarchy of organisms on this planet and re-evaluate it. There's this picture that is as old as the internet itself, and it shows the difference between how we see ourselves in the world and what it actually is. Look at this screen. I call it the human ego diagram. The thing is that we're animals ourselves, but in our ignorance we place ourselves above the rest of the organisms on Earth. Eric Fromm said that the man is the only animal for whom his own existence is a problem which he has to solve. We try to create separate rules for our world and the society, but we are still governed by the natural laws of life. We can pretend to be different, but at the end of the day, the dominating animal element of our existence takes over every aspect of our life. Humans are an anomaly here, no doubt. Unlike animal DNA, human DNA shows signs of splicing, which means our genes were edited. No other animal DNA on Earth shows signs of engineered genome. We are part of nature, subject to its physical laws, yet in some areas we transcend nature. We are apart while being a part. We're homeless, yet chained to the home we share with all other animals. We are aware of the limitations of our existence, yet we're never free from the dichotomy of our existence. Here's a message that most of you probably wouldn't want to hear. You are like savages in the way you're killing other animals. You are so ignorant and human in the way you treat them. What if you're killing the most sacred being in the universe and you're making burgers out of it? You have no idea what you're doing to animals. They have the same consciousness as humans, and grinding them for hamburger meat en masse is an insane thing to do. Most animals will get close to another animal no matter how big, but they stay away from humans. What do they see that we don't see? Our attitude to the world outside of our own is mainly hostile, and our relationship with nature is at best recreational, and nature became a commodity today. We're constantly conquering and fighting the animal world instead of learning to cooperate in harmony with it. Nature for us is nothing but a resource that has to be converted into products. Human economy is intrinsically connected to the exploitation of nature. Even our scientific approach to life is flawed, as we believe that humans and nature are distinct and that they both are imperfect and in a desperate need of intervention and correction. Here's my final conclusion. Humans do not exist in isolation to the world around them. It doesn't matter what we believe, we are a part of nature. Nature has always been the only dominating entity and the true regulator of human life. Nature is visible spirit, and spirit is invisible nature. It is in order and in control of the world. We, as nature's children, should be in tune with its frequency. As Albert Einstein said, our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty. Nobody is able to achieve this completely, but the striving for such achievement is in itself a part of the liberation and a foundation for inner security. Everything is determined, the beginning as well as the end, by forces over which we have no control. It is determined for the insect as well as for the star. Human beings, vegetables, or cosmic dust, we all dance to a mysterious tune, intoned in the distance by an invisible player. Love 434. The next video will be about the importance of sanity as explained by Machine Elves. Thank you for watching, and on your way out, please consider joining Patreon or Subscribestar, or make a PayPal, bank transfer, or cryptocurrency donation. Like and share this video, and visit the websites of the artist and the music producer I used in this video. Join my second YouTube channel. Remember about b434.com. Join other 434 social media. There is YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, BitChute, and VK. And if you want to talk to others, go to Reddit, Telegram, or Discord. All links in the video description.